Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to a brand new YouTube video.
Kick forward. Welcome back to the channel. There's going to be a collaboration which I've been eagerly waiting for a long period of time since I started my YouTube journey, and couldn't be more glad to have the man himself, Ketan and Ahuja, sitting right next to me.
There's nothing so great about me. I'm just a regular person just like you, and he's also a pretty regular person, but he's just transformed himself. He देखने में मतलब एक hero type लगता है. I'm not kidding. Like if you just roam around Calcutta, if you just drive through the streets, you'll find him in every corner on a billboard. I am Rangeet Raheel.
And the funniest thing which not a lot of people know about is before I even started out my modeling journey, the very first ramp walk that I did was with this man, and because of this man, we did a college show. I wasn't really into modeling at that period of time, but this man called me up one fine day and he was like, "Bhai, ramp pe chalega?" And before I know it, that was my first ramp experience. So our connection and dates back a long way.
Now going back to that story, I'll share with you an interesting story. कि उस रैंप पे actually हुआ क्या? तो एक कॉलेज में फेस्ट था and हम लोग so the guys that we were representing was a brand and the owner of that brand was actually a friend of mine. तो मेरे friend का एक sports wear apparel brand है, तो उसके लिए तो उसका promotional event था उस fashion show का, उन्होंने उसने मुझे बुलाया था. हम पहले दिन उसको बोले कि भाई देख, अगर नंगा चलना होगा तो ही आएंगे, नहीं तो नहीं आएंगे. बोल रहा है भाई ऐसे थोड़ी ना चलेगा, नंगा तो अलाउड नहीं है. मतलब हम लोग के कंपटीशन खेलने जीत रहा है, हमको ट्रॉफी मिलेगा. नहीं ना, हम नंगा चलेंगे. बोला ठीक है.
And this man right up on the head ramp, like the very first fashion show I'm doing, I'm seeing on YouTube, okay, models walk like this. This man walks up to the head ramp, बोले हम लोग stage में जाके men's physique का pose लेंगे. That was quite some experience. Probably crowd of 2,000 people up there. First experience right there. Starting dating back from there, having several lifting sessions together, talking about fitness, watching him grow and transform, trying to transform the whole fitness scene in Kolkata and doing the stuff he does inside and outside the gym. It's been pretty inspiring and couldn't be more glad to share this platform with him today.
Thank you so much, Rangeet, and thank you so much, guys, for tuning into this video. So, Rangeet, let's start with your starting journey. Where did this all begin for you?
This started almost a decade prior, so a lot of people think, okay, it's just 1-2 years of work. A lot of work which goes in behind the scenes over the years. So I was a pretty overweight kid starting out, and I was very fascinated with cricket. I started playing cricket from the age of 9, and I wanted to take it up professionally. So to get better at my cricket, I joined the gym and I wanted to get better at my fitness journey and improve my stamina, overall performance in cricket. So I went to a gym at the age of 14, and eventually, before I knew it, I fell in love with the whole process of it.
Okay, that's nice.
So I'd carry my big bags to school, I'd carry my sattu to school, and after school got over at 3:30, I'd walk all the way to the gym. I'll train for 3 hours and then I'll walk back home. So that's where the love for fitness started. Somewhere along the way, this took over. Cricket fell off, but this always remained, and that's been the journey ever since. So starting at the age of 14 to 22 right now, it's been a ever since growing journey, and I've been glad to share this love for fitness across to several other people, and trying to make my contribution here and there in the smallest way that I can. That was my journey. If I would ask you, what was your journey like when you first started out?
It's like more of a story. So so this story starts way back, like 8 years or 7 years back, when I was in school, and like right from the beginning of my class 12 and class 11, like I was very fascinated with muscles, and because being a kid, like right from the beginning of my birth, I've always been a skinny kid, like skinny, like not just like your normal, like your average skinny. This skinny is like, damn, he's skinny. ठीक है, like वैसा टाइप का था. तो मेरे को वो बहुत बात खटकता था अंदर में. एंड ऐसे कुछ लोग होते हैं, या बहुत लोग होते हैं जो ओवरवेट है या स्किनी है, कम्प्लीटली आउट ऑफ शेप है, लेकिन उनको वो बात खटकती नहीं है. दे लाइक हाँ मोटे हैं तो है. ऐसे कुछ लोग होता है ऐसा.
बॉडी पॉजिटिविटी these days.
तो मेरे को वो बात खटकता था. एंड द मोमेंट वेयर ऑल द फायर दैट एक्चुअली लाइक ऑल द फायर केम इनसाइड ऑफ माय बॉडी वाज कि हम लोग का स्कूल का लास्ट डे था. Not last day, last week, right? So last week के टाइम में like everybody is discussing the plans. कोई ये करेगा, कोई वो करेगा, कोई बोल रहा है MBA, कोई बोल रहा है father business. And I did not have that kind of clarity in my life. मुझे बस एक ही चीज़ पता था कि भाई मैं बॉडी बनाऊंगा. तो मैं सबके सामने बोल दिया कि भाई मैं बॉडी बनाऊंगा. And everybody started laughing on me. So imagine like a group of 15, 20, 30 kids, and they're all sitting together, and everybody is laughing at you and pointing at you. How would that make you feel inside your heart? That's like it gets your heart rate like so up, it makes you so angry to the point like you just want to murder those people, but you can't say them. Like, even though I wanted to say them, bro, just wait, I'll get back to you. Just wait. Like I had this thing. But उस moment पे वो credibility नहीं रहता कुछ बोलने का. कुछ बोलूँगा, वो सामने से बोलेगा हाँ चल पहले करके फिर करते हैं. Right. So that was my story. वहाँ से मेरा school खत्म हुआ and then I just hopped into a gym and I worked so hard. I can't even put it in words. Like my diet was like so on point. My training was so on point. I left everything behind.
I can personally vouch for this. I've trained with this man, and when he goes in the gym, he goes all out. He leaves no stones unturned. One beast inside the gym.
That's how I am. That's how my mentality is in all realms of my life. I think it's not just like it. Like if it eventually started off when I got into the gym and I got stronger and I got bigger. So it's not like I just built my body. After that, I got more confident. I had more self-esteem. I could talk in front of people. I could assert my dominance in front of people. So that really, it gives like a mental strength. Like never, you couldn't have even imagined. So and that automatically translates in all sections of your life.
Definitely. So that is why I think that is one of the reasons why we share the love for the island. Is not just what it is inside the gym, but how it transcends to other things outside the gym as well and beyond the four walls of the gym.
Yes.
Like imagine being pushed down with a 100 kg weight every single rep you try to get up. That's so when you are coming out of the hole from that rep, it does not just build muscle, it builds character.
That moment,
Right.
like you
just saying no time and time again that okay, I won't let this weight push me down. That shows a test of true character, and that the mental fortitude that it builds inside the gym, so you can carry it forward to all walks of
it's
your
like a conversation going on inside your head. Like your mind is saying कि नहीं होगा, but your heart is saying, come on, you're not a loser. Let's go. Come on, one more. So that feeling that it adds on, it automatically compounds. So with time, we just start getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
So I think the people we are today, we are a byproduct of the influences we have had growing up, right? So I like to look at it in this way. So let's say we got into the gym, we got into working out so because we were probably inspired by looking at people. Let's say some other people who got into other vices, they were influenced by people and drew inspiration from people from those walks of life. So in your case, who would you say, like when you first started out, who were the people who inspired you in their walks of life who you wanted to emulate and be like?
So see, before answering this question, I think I would first of all like to thank my own self, or I can't find another person, because like the time I had, like I started following influencers, like to get knowledge, and I started looking up to it, but I never completely looked up to them, right? And I think this is a mindset which people really need to adopt in today's society, where there are so many influencers, including you and me, right? And why I say that is because not every human being is perfect, right? So you have to look at the aspect on which you are looking up to that person. So let's say there's a fitness influencer. Okay? His name is XYZ. Okay? He works out, he goes to the gym, okay, he does his stuff, but his mentality outside the gym is not really like something which you want to know. But at the gym, he's on point. Right? So just learn that gym aspect part and then discard the other part, which is not good.
Take out the best from
Take out the best, yes.
So for me, I think this has been like a whole different experience compared to this, because I have looked up to several people growing up in my journey. Back in school, everybody used to be fascinated with superheroes.
Yeah.
Everybody used to watch DC comics and Marvel and whatnot. I never had any superheroes. I grew up in my class 9 and 10. I grew up writing essays about Christian Guzman and David Lynch. So these are the kind of people who I always looked up to. I used to watch videos of Ronnie Coleman before going to bed.
Okay.
I used to watch Mr. Olympia videos. So these are the kind of influences which shaped me into becoming the kind of person I am today. So I think this plays a very vital role in having the kind of influences you have into shaping the kind of human that you become eventually down the years of your life.
Yeah, and having said that, I think you should also know how to choose your choose your influencer.
That's a very big thing.
Yeah. So firstly, in order to choose or follow any one particular influencer, you need to have that clarity in your own life. What do I want to do?
Exactly.
And then you find people who are already doing that, who are living their life. For example, if you talk about me, Okay, I want to build a physique and I want to become rich as like. I want to become rich, right? So I won't look up to people who are like competitive bodybuilders. For me, I mean, the kind of value and that they have to provide to me is just not the right fit for my life. I want to become rich and I want to become a good body. So I'll follow somebody who already has that.
So if we are going along these lines, let's just delve into the main topic itself. So
Yeah.
how do you think you can monetize your love for fitness and grow in the street?
I think I think monetizing your passion for fitness is not that of a difficult thing.
Right.
The main challenge over your lives is your credibility, your personal credibility. These days, I see. I don't mean any offense to any of the trainers out there, but like right now, the things that I'm seeing in the gym, I shouldn't have been seeing because people are trainers who have done courses of 6 months and 8 months, and in 6 months, and they have started this whole journey practically. 6 months and 8 months back. So they don't have that much of experience, right? Firstly, that should stop. Talking about monetization, now if that stops, you are already credible because you have that experience, and on top of that, you have that knowledge also. So now you can teach other people.
And I think it again just joins back to the same thing where you say something very cliche that do what you love, right?
Yes.
So personally, I was always passionate about fitness and I always wanted to teach. I had the love for teaching.
Exactly. Same for me.
For me, the thing about chasing money was never there. When I was back in school, I used to try to find friends and used to give them diet just for free, so just so that I could have some
He
experience.
wants to provide value. That is what the money
Exactly.
will come.
Exactly. And then basing off of on that, like I started getting more clients and then everything followed. So first of all, I think the whole reason why a lot of people are getting into this industry these days is just for the money aspect of it.
They
But
think it's easy money.
Right.
They think you just need to talk to a person, make a diet plan, and you're done. But it doesn't work like that.
like a very cliched line goes again, you need to talk the talk before you walk the walk, and you need to walk the walk actually before you talk the talk. So I think a lot of you need to put in the hard hours in the
Yes,
gym years
exactly,
after years,
exactly.
and then try to propagate that same love which you have for lifting,
Exactly.
try to teach it to other people.
So here is where the difference between the good trainer and the bad trainers lie. Now the thing is the courses and like becoming a trainer has the whole process of that tag has become so easy
Right.
that the whole name of the trainers has degraded.
Right.
Like I have heard countless times people saying that I don't want to hire a trainer because I just cannot trust them. I don't know if I'll get the right results or not. I mean that is not something which should come when you're hiring a trainer.
Exactly. If we are talking about trainers, one more general thing which I notice when I travel around gyms in the city is gyms in the city and across the country, most trainers they don't deem themselves to be educators, right?
Yes,
they think
that
of
is
themselves
a-
as servers.
हाँ.
हाँ sir, towel ला देते हैं sir, ये कर देते हैं, weights लगा देते हैं sir. That is not how it should be. So
Yes.
in my opinion, if I say something in Bengali, নিজেকে শিক্ষকের মতো দেখতে শেখো. যদি if you are not a শিক্ষক, however you call it in Hindi, my Hindi is not the greatest, but if you don't deem yourself as an educator and you just think okay I'll just put on weights and I'll get my renewal, you are not putting yourself in a place to grow,
No,
right?
that's not
If you
how a trainer's job.
Right. If you walk into the gym floor with a view that okay, today I'm going to teach a couple of new things to my clients, I think that is going to resonate more and stick to you and provide and like you can build off of that and grow along with that.
Yes, exactly. This is how you build your own credibility. Now, this building your credibility again takes you back to the hard hours which you have put in.
Exactly.
And this credibility can only be achieved if you have put in the hard hours on yourself.
Right.
You have experimented a ton of stuff, and now you have the clarity what works, what doesn't work, what are the combos that work best.
Okay, so person XYZ now comes in, they've put in the hours, they've done their certification, and now they want to enter the field. We both operate in very different sectors. I personally don't take online clients. I totally like to work offline, and he totally mostly works
I'm an online coach.
online.
Yes, I'm an online
So let's get our views in how things work differently, and let's talk monetary aspect as well. Most trainers they work 8-10 hour shifts and they're getting 10-20,000 rupees a month, but that's not the case. Like many trainers, they don't look like it, but they are earning a lot more than blue collar jobs. Let's get your view on this. So somebody wants to start out online. So how can they start out things online, and what are the possible approaches they can take, and what are the thresholds they can achieve on their online training journey?
So the biggest difference between online and offline is, in offline, you have a clear pattern of communication.
Right.
So you in offline, you work at a gym or you are a freelance, you go to your client's gym to train him, or that person comes to the gym. You train him for an hour, for 1.5 hours, you're done. You tell him, you monitor him exactly what to do, you're done. Now imagine replicating this same scenario on the virtual world.
Right.
How do you do that? So firstly you have to build a clear way of communication. Right? So the main difference over here lies is how you build that path of communication. In online, you need to have a proper procedure that you have to follow in order to train the client and help him achieve the best results which is possible for him. Having said that, I am not with the client personally. So I tell him something, I give him the whole blueprint, what to do exactly from A to Z. Now it is up to him to follow.
I think the most important word to be used in this case is accountability.
Accountability,
Right.
yes.
So I think accountability can be built in both scenarios, but it totally depends on the kind of individuals you're dealing with. So let's say even in offline scenarios, you come across clients who are not
that enthusiastic.
exactly. But that over there, that's where you as a trainer need to assume the role of an educator. And a word that I like to use a lot is being a great facilitator of change. Right? When you think of yourself to be a facilitator of change, you can pinpoint small details and you can work on those aspects to get better on with your client. So, okay, we have built accountability. Let's talk, because that's where the main crunch. And let's talk figures now. Okay, so if a person XYZ, I want to start out today with Mr. Ketan Ahuja. Let's say I want to start out on a 4-week plan or something. So how do we go about things, and how, as a trainer, can you profit off of that? And can this be a full-time job?
It is a full-time job. It's not a part-time job. You can't do this part-time because you're not just taking money from the client, and it's not a product sold, right? It's not just a one-way transaction.
Right.
If
The service you're offering.
it's the service you offer, and that lasts till 4 weeks.
Right.
So now you have to be in regular touch with the client. So if a person wants to transform his life, he comes to me, I want to build my body, I want to transform my life. Then he can proceed on to my website, which is ketanahuja.in. What I am bringing to the table is, you'll get a custom diet plan, you'll get a custom training chart, you'll know how to modify your meals, I'll give you a lot of recipes, I'll give you a lot of training hacks, insider tips and tricks, right? You also get counseling sessions where I just don't want to know about what to do in the gym, what to do outside the gym. Because if your life outside the gym is a complete mess, I don't want you to just give that advice that your life doesn't matter, go to the gym. That's not a very valid advice.
I think that's a very important role which a lot of trainers forget, is like thinking of their clients as actual human beings, because they have a life outside the gym as well.
Yes.
So you as a trainer should be able to manage the whole of that and understand, okay, it's probably okay for a client to have a night out. It would not be recommended, of course, but okay, if they want to go out with a couple of friends and get a drink or so, you as a trainer should be smart enough to know how to work around that.
It's completely fine. Like, my client is free to do whatever he wants. He wants to eat a burger, he wants to eat a pizza, he wants to go out and get some drinks. It's totally fine. My job is to teach him how to balance out everything, so he can enjoy every aspect of his life to the fullest.
Right.
I'll talk to the client like what's going on in his life. So let's say he is doing a mistake which is preventing him from balancing out his life. And I have also done that same mistake in my past, and now I've rectified it and I have gotten better. I'll teach him. Because yes, like I said, online training has its own drawbacks since I'm not with the person physically. So there is a little bit of lag, like in terms of the correlation of the trainer and his client. There is a little bit of lag.
I think it totally goes back to what you want to achieve when you enter the industry. So one of the major advantages which I feel offline training does not offer, in case of which online training occurs, is scalability.
Scalability,
right?
Yes.
So in a sense, in an offline environment, I can only cater to X amount of plans because I have X amount of hours in a day.
Yes.
But if you can scale online training, even if you're charging $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month,
You can still earn a lot.
talking about the pure economics of it, it's not a big deal to handle 300-400 clients at one period of time. But on the contrary, like my per client charges will be higher. Like I can still earn a very good amount if we talk numbers. Like okay, I can afford to buy an iPhone 14 Pro Max in cash every single month by working X amount of hours, by working let's say half a day, 6-7 hours a day. and training X amount of clients, but beyond a certain period of time, let's say I'm handling 20 people, I'm handling 25 people, I cannot scale that. So that's one thing which I feel that online training has to offer in case of, like, in favor of offline training, but again draws back to what you want to teach, because there are certain things. If I want to teach a client a hip hinge pattern, if I want to assess the mobility,
वो सब possible नहीं होता.
I cannot do that online. But at the same time, I wouldn't undermine anybody who is doing it online, because obviously I do appreciate the upsides that it has to offer. Because in a sense that, okay, let's talk pure numbers here. If we are handling 300 clients a month for 3,000 bucks a month, that's how much? That's a lot of money we are talking about. Lot more than blue collar jobs, and people you just think, okay, these guys they work in their track suits and they just carry gym bags. How much must they be earning? But I'm telling you, a lot of trainers, and not so good trainers as well, who go to work in their track pants and not wearing their suits and collars and ties and not carrying the suitcases, they're earning big hefty paychecks of 6 figures plus every single month. So that is something which you need to keep in mind. If you have the profession, if you have the passion for it, and if you can scale it, you can really make it big in this industry. And you don't need to be something who is over the top, who is excellent and has wonderful knowledge. You just need to know how to sell your services properly to a client. You need to know how to be presentable, and you need to be somebody who is a good communicator.
Yes.
To fulfill these 3 checkbox,
yes.
And you can walk in every single month with a big CTC, which a lot of these big IT companies and financial companies don't offer.
However, earning in this industry is not as easy as we make it sound. I'm telling you, we have the experience of I have the experience of 7 years of training myself. You have the experience of how many years? 6 years at least?
Almost 9 years.
9 years, okay? You have been training clients for like so long. I have been training clients for so long. So all of this comes with the time that you invested.
Exactly.
You can't just expect yourself to go to the gym in a year and transform yourself and say like I'm a trainer. No, that's not how it goes. You have to put in the hours. But if you put in the hours and you work hard, the fruits that you bear are sweet.
And people will appreciate the kind of value that you bring to the table.
Yes.
Because, okay, they'll buy a program for a person having a ripped 6-pack abs, having veins everywhere just once. But once they see that, okay, this person does not have value to offer, they'll again go back. And I'm telling you, I'm not kidding with you on this. In a city like Kolkata, which is not so advanced in the terms of fitness, people do shell out 1,500 bucks, 2,000 bucks for an hour for one session. And these people are taking 12 to 16 sessions a month. You can just calculate the numbers yourself. These are the kind of numbers which people are ready to shell out for a person who offers and brings value to the table.
It's about quality. Right. The higher you want quality, the higher you have to pay. Simple as.
Now let's address the biggest elephant in the room, nutrition. Sir, क्या खा के body बनेगा sir? कुछ बताइए केतन sir.
So see, as a person who is starting out, अगर आप just start कर रहे हो, just to eat healthy and go to the gym, I think लोगों को already पता है कि क्या करना है. In the beginning, तुमको एक प्रोफेशनल एथलीट के ऐसा नहीं खाना.
सबको पता है मैगी और KFC खाने से बॉडी नहीं बनेगी.
तुमको पता है कि I need to have home food, I need to have my greens, I need to have my salad, I need to eat high protein. अब प्रोटीन में you don't have to really Google प्रोटीन में क्या होता है. चिकन अंडा तो सबको पता है, पनीर सबको पता है. इतना तो कंज्यूम करो. रोज अपना पूरा दिन का डाइट में एक मील सैलेड खाओ, कम तेल वाला खाना खाओ. इससे स्टार्ट करो. तो लोग जो गलती करते हैं स्टार्टिंग में बहुत ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेट कर देते हैं चीज़ों को. Once you अगर आप स्मॉल स्टेप से स्टार्ट करते हो तो आई बिलीव आप इन डेप्थ में ज़्यादा बेटर जिसमें जा पाओगे. एंड एज टाइम प्रोग्रेसेस, अगर आप में वो विल पावर है कि हाँ आपको करना है अच्छे से, आप एक हफ्ता नॉर्मल डाइट मतलब you just purify your existing diet, you just modify your existing diet into a clean diet. एक हफ्ता बाद आपको ऑटोमेटिकली चुल मचेगा कि मैं और क्या कर सकता हूँ. From there we start leveling.
And scientifically, if we break it down, just take care of your macros, just take care of your carbohydrates, proteins and fats, have that in an adequate amount. And if you don't have the know-how as to how to do that, hire an online coach and use their guidance, because I'm telling you, not just to sell my services here or promote his services here. If you don't have that knowledge initially, see, when we first,
you'll be wasting a lot of time.
When we first started out, I couldn't afford a personal trainer, right? But now looking back at it, if I think about it, okay, if I had convinced, I wasn't earning at that time. If I could have convinced my father, okay, instead of buying supplements that month, for 2 months, if I had taken personal trainer from a genuine trainer who had knowledge, I would have been able to make months of progress, which took me on my own in a very short period of time. So having the enlisting the help of a professional. If you have an injury, you don't try to figure it out yourself. You go to a doctor, right? So they are called professionals for a reason. So if you are lacking in some aspect, or if you think you need guidance in some aspect, don't be hesitant to seek the help of some professional. We talk about nutrition, like you handle a lot of online plans. What are the general things that you notice people complain with about their diet? And we are talking about this in an Indian scenario, because a lot of things we see, muscle and strength, bodybuilding.com, is just based
Numbers.
on things in the US. It's very different over there compared to how it is over here. So when you're training Indian people, what is the general thing that you see, the problems that they face, the complaints they come with, and what hinders their progress?
See, the number one problem which I have noticed is the firstly is the knowledge of what to eat, because the Indian diet is not really high in protein, right? So the first problem lies there. After I solve that, next the main problem lies is how much to eat. Now let's say according to your body as a trainer, I tell you the numbers, but for a normal Indian, it is just not possible to constantly track your food and in numbers, like always measure your food in a measure scale. It is just not possible. So what I do is I try to simplify that as much as possible. I don't play in numbers, I play in assumptions. So let's just say a person is overweight and he wants to lose weight. So now what will you do if he wants to lose weight? You'll automatically cut down his carbs, right? Now in order to even simplify that to him, I just tell him कि जो existing carbohydrate है, ये you take one serving, हाथ मारो आधा निकाल दो. You don't have to count. हाथ मारो निकाल दो. If you are losing weight, good. If you're not losing weight, उसको और कम.
See, that's a very jugaad approach to think, but it works. So you don't need to always put in the science and macros and numbers behind it. You put in stuff that works in an easy to understand and simplified manner, and that's how you simplify nutrition.
And the reason why I have simplified it to such an extent is because I have lived a life which is not of a professional trainer.
Right.
I have lived a life doing business. I have lived a life being in a factory morning to night and then coming to the gym at night. And in order to manage that whole thing, it's just not possible to count your food. Right?
And let's say for people like us who are really into this, a lot of people don't have that mental fortitude to keep eating the same food day in, day out like we do. Like Jay Cutler, one of my favorite bodybuilders, once said, there was a famous quotation that I eat for function, not for purpose.
That's what my mentality
Exactly,
also is.
exactly that.
Your food is your fuel. It's not
exactly. So, but a lot of people don't have that approach. So, one extreme would be that, okay, try to get that approach and imbibe that same spirit within you. If you can't, then try to follow a more simplified approach. Keep things simple, but you also know what to have, what not to have, and that definitely isn't, like a lot of YouTubers say, eating Maggie daily. You were just speaking about nutrition, so a lot of that has to comes in with gaining better understanding about nutrition, studying certain foods. So in an industry which is often dominated by bro science and myths, how would you say, how important would you rank education in that list?
Education in any realm is very important. Without education, without proper education, all your implementations will be wrong. Let's say you're hardworking, you hustle like anything, but if your education is not right, your implementation will yield no results. Right? So being educated has to be the first step that you do. Right? Now, talking about bro science and the myths in fitness industry that are revolving around the market,
right.
To tackle that problem, what I did, इसका भी मैंने एक तो जुगाड़ लगाया था, वो ये, एंड ये जुगाड़ आपका हर एक फील्ड में काम आएगा जिसमें भी आप रिसर्च कर रहे हो, एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हो अपने आप को, कि डोंट जस्ट लिसन टू वन पर्सन.
राइट.
सो लेट्स से आज मुझे जानना है कि चिकन में क्या न्यूट्रिशनल वैल्यू है. आई विल गो टू गूगल. गूगल इज सेइंग 30 grams. But I won't just stop there. I'll go to 5 other websites. कोई बोलेगा कुछ, but एक कॉमन आंसर रहेगा जो सब बोल रहे हैं. उस कॉमन आंसर को फॉलो करो, वो राइट आंसर. So this is how you can tackle that myth problem, कि what to follow and what not to follow.
And like he rightly said, education will be the building blocks and pillars behind everything. See, we are not in a field where we are studying physics, science and commerce every single day. but still we are still educating ourselves with the thing that we are passionate about. A lot of people think that okay, he's going to the gym, parai varai chhod diya. No, it takes a lot of knowledge and education as to what you're doing inside the gym as well, and to educate yourself about the human body. So I feel if you meet a proper trainer after a doctor who works in synergy with a doctor, it will be a trainer or an online coach who is the most informed about the human body and its functions.
I'll tell you a very small example from the gym.